able to start with the, I was about to start with the practical. I showed you the connectivity, but before I was shutting down the session, someone was asking something. Was that you, Hanif bhai?
So I was asking like that 10.0.0.4 was the same machine which Razak bhai has created yesterday,
No,
right?
no, no, no. These are my machine. I deleted Razak bhai's everything I deleted yesterday. That was a Linux machine. And that resource group had all virtual network gateway, etc., everything. So I would never keep that. The moment I had completed my practical, I deleted that complete setup from my subscription also, and from Razak's resource group as well. This is I created today morning. 10 वाला जो सीरीज है ना, नॉर्मल बाय डिफॉल्ट वो मिलता है. सो whenever you create, आपको भी 10 वाला सीरीज ही मिलेगा. एंड हियर आई डिड नॉट हैव एनी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, सो इवन आई डिड नॉट गो ahead and change anything. 10 का मिल रहा था, आई टुक दैट. तो नॉर्मली आपको 10 वाला सीरीज इसलिए दिख जाता है. But that's not the same machine. Look at the machine name, look at the uh, operating system, main thing, right? It's Windows. I'm taking RDP. Those were Linux machines. Me and Razak were performing a practical yesterday in yesterday's session. All both of them were Linux machines. Today's it's your Windows machine.
Okay, okay.
And if it was same, then also it's okay. If I would have done the same practical in his this one, I would have done the practical in his subscription. Concept same ही रहता था. ठीक है guys, so let's see how to perform this practical. First thing, you'll have to create a machine. एक machine बना लो जिससे आप practice कर पाओगे. Otherwise it's okay even if you don't create a machine, if you're confident about this, about your practical, because method of connectivity or method to check whether it has been connected or not, it's simple. You go ahead and check your IP address, and if you are getting the IP address from your pool, the pool which you have assigned, इसका मतलब है कि आपका ये जो है सक्सेसफुल हो चुका है, VPN कनेक्शन सक्सेसफुल हो चुका है, राइट? So if you want to cross verify that, that is good enough. But if you want to take the complete feeling how it works, कैसे होता है, then create a machine. Otherwise machine is not needed here, right? It's up to you. Okay, so I have created multiple machines here, and I have created 3 machines. All of them are in same VNet, same subnet, right? So let's start. Then in the same VNet, जहां पर ये machines, I'll go in the same VNet. This is the VNet. And we'll have to create a virtual network gateway, right? Under this VNet. So how do we create a virtual network gateway? We click on virtual network gateway, we click on create, etc. I have shown it already yesterday, so I'm not doing that. In this VNet, I already have a virtual network gateway. Is this clear, guys? Step still here. एक VNet बनाना है, उसमें machine, it's up to you. आप लोगों को बनाना है या नहीं बनाना, it's up to you, right? Uh, and then you should have one virtual network gateway. Is it clear till here? And to have a virtual network gateway, what is needed? A gateway subnet is needed. I hope you guys are able to see my screen, right? Sorry, I missed that question, but I hope this is visible to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So gateway subnet, you have to create a virtual network gateway. Once you are done with virtual network gateway, let's go ahead and the next step. What does it say? Create a certificate. आते हैं इसमें हम लोग. Virtual network gateway. This is the virtual network gateway we have. Then if I wanted to connect to sites, I would have gone and select on connection, or I would have clicked on connection, right? But now what I want to do here, it's point to site configuration. So I'm clicking on point to site configuration, right? Then click on configure now. Address pool. Here you can give any range of private IP, any range. Even if you are repeating the same range, it's okay. Any range, it's fine. यहाँ पर आप कौन सी रेंज दे रहे हो? ये वो रेंज है जिससे आपके जो यूजर्स VPN कनेक्ट करेंगे उनको इस रेंज में से IP असाइन होने वाला है. So I would avoid, in this case, I would avoid 192 and 10 series. Why? Why do you think I'm avoiding 10 wala series and 192, guys? Now you have
Already
seen the
used.
setup. Yes. 192 ऑलरेडी मेरे इसमें यूज हो रहा है. यहाँ पर प्राइवेट मशीन पे 10 सीरीज ऑलरेडी Azure पे यूज हो रहा है, राइट? Hence I went with 172 वाला रेंज. But it's not conflict. अगर आप सेम भी यूज करते हो, it doesn't matter. It will take and you will be able to do it. If you want, I can use tens वाला series यहाँ पर. Let's use 10. Okay. Then tunnel type. There are multiple. Mostly we will use IKE version 2 and Open VPN. This is what we are going to use. Now, what are the differences between them? इसका एक article मैं भेज सकता हूँ. If you want to read. Otherwise, it's okay. See, if someone wants to interview on this one, ये सारे options तो आपका पूरा interview एक topic पे ही चला जाएगा. So no one will ask you all these options. They will ask you, have you done point to site? You will say yes, and then you should remember all these types. Yes, I've done the point to site. We used Azure VPN. We used IKEA version 2 and Open SSL. We used Azure certificate method. इस तरह से आपको बताना है. He is not going to prompt के अपने कितने tunnel type होते हैं, आपने कौन सा use किया. Yes, you should know there are multiple, but I remember in one of my projects, previous projects, I created one point to site VPN and we used address pool. We used 10 range. Any reason you can give, or maybe their network team suggested. We used IKEA version 2 and Open SSL, Open VPN SSL. Okay, IPsec policy, it's okay, leave it. Authentication type, we used Azure certificate. इतना आप लोगों को बोलना आना चाहिए. Is this clear, guys? Still here with these options?
Yes.
Yes. What about others?
Yeah.
Guys, what about others? Are you able to
Yes.
get it? Any questions? Any doubt? Ashfaq Karbal, what about you? Hanif Kazi, you getting it? Shahrukh Sheikh, Sonali, are you
Yes,
getting it?
yes.
Suraya, are you getting
Yes.
it? Are you lost it completely? Are you guys
No.
understanding why are we doing it? What will you see in the actual work environment? How the questions will come, right? And how you have to speak about it, right? So Azure
Yes.
certificate, clear till here, guys? This one you can select anything as in private range, right? Don't give any public range here. It will not work. Private range with a cider. You can use anything. Tunnel, go ahead with this one. I'm not explaining others. If you want, I'll send an article. You can check what happens if you don't take OpenSSL. What happens if you take only this one? What happens if you take only this one? But we'll go ahead with this one. Right? This one, we are not changing anything. ये एक अपने आप में एक अलग स्टडी है. क्रिप्टोग्राफी की एक अलग सी स्टडी होती है, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's go ahead with default. Then authentication type, I told you we have Azure Active Directory, we have Radius authentication, we have Azure certificate. I'll be going ahead with Azure certificate. I'll show you maybe once a glimpse or a glance of Azure Active Directory if time permits. Otherwise, you can stick to this. Say this is something you don't do it on daily basis, right? So even if you explain that I have done it once, it's good enough. People with genuine experience, they will also they also haven't done it twice and thrice and 5 times in their experience, right? So Azure certificate, the method you have used, that should be enough for you. Right now, what do you need? You need a root certificate, right? And you need a client certificate. So how to generate the certificate, that I'll show you now. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, so what do we need here, guys? We need certificates. Most of the time you will not be working on certificates. How it works in real time, you are an Azure administrator. इतने बड़े टास्क के लिए फर्स्ट थिंग अंडरस्टैंड, वेरी वेरी बेसिक थिंग गाइस, जब भी आप लोगों को टिकट आता है ना, एक आइसोलेशन में आप अकेले कभी नहीं काम करते हो, ठीक है? इवन you won't believe, you may laugh at it. I am not sure how many of you have the experience or not. Azure पे थोड़ा भी एक वर्चुअल नेटवर्क बनाने का भी जो टिकट आता है ना, उसमें 3 से 4 टीम, 2 से 3 इंजीनियर्स एंड आपका एक लीड इंजीनियर, टेक्निकल लीड, ये सारे के सारे उस टिकट पे किसी न किसी तरह का कोई ना कोई टास्क असाइन होता है. दे आर ईदर मॉनिटरिंग इट, दे आर हेल्पिंग यू, और यू आर वर्किंग अंडर देम. तो ऐसा नहीं होता है कि आपको एक काम दे दिया और आपने अकेले ने उसको एंड टू एंड कर लिया. इट नेवर वर्क्स लाइक दैट. यू आर नॉट द सुपरमैन ऑफ योर IT इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, राइट? No one is that. You'll always work in a team. So creating a VNet कितना simple है. Now you guys have been creating VNet, but उसमें multiple teams involve होगी. 10-12 emails यहाँ से वहां हो गए, 2-3 अप्रूवल हो गए, 2-4 टिकट्स हो गए, टास्क हो गए, राइट? दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स. सो दिस वन ऑल्सो डोंट इमेजिन कि ये पूरा का पूरा आप लोग करने वाले हो. आई विल बी शोइंग इट टू यू. end to end. Why? Because you should understand the process. But when you speak in your interview, when you answer something, you should not portray like this. सामने वाला समझ जाएगा 2 मिनट में that this person hasn't worked. You should not portray कि end to end सब आप ही ने किया है. That is not a brownie point. That is not a good point. That in fact that shows that you are naive and you actually haven't worked anywhere. Because actually में कहीं होता ही नहीं है कि सब कुछ आप कर लोगे. It's not about your capability. It's about accesses. It is about authentication. There are many things, right? हर चीज आपको नहीं दी जा सकती है. Certificates बनाने में your team will have to deal with external vendors also. अब आप ही Azure engineer हो, आप ही external vendor से coordinate करोगे, आप ही सब कुछ करोगे, impossible. That is not possible. There are teams, there are hierarchies, right? Hence, don't worry about it. इतना सब देखकर ये मत हो रहा. Here I will show it to you end to end. But how you have to represent that, इसमें भी मैंने आपको बताया VPN वाले में भी. That if they ask कि ठीक है आपने Azure का तो अच्छे से explain कर दिया 5 components वगैरह, but what will you do at the data center end? You can say it firmly with confidence. क्या data center पे we had some system admins, we had their engineers, and they did the configuration. I'm not aware of it. हाँ, you can watch a video if you want. You can watch a video. एक video देख लो कि data center पे क्या ये settings कहाँ पर होती है. By the way, it happens on the router पे होती है सारी settings. Very simple basic चीजें होती है. If you want, you can watch a video. But there is no shame in saying that I don't know what happens at the data center or what happened at the data center, right? There's no shame saying in that I don't know how the certificate was created. I got the certificate. Simple. ठीक है guys? Is this clear to everyone? Don't try to oversell yourself. उसमें आप जो है unnecessary फंस भी जाओगे. Certificate के questions आएंगे and then you will be stuck. Right? So you can say as an Azure administrator, as an Azure engineer, this is what I am good with and this is what my responsibilities were. When it comes to certificate, we had a team. IIS की team होती है जो certificates में deal करती है पूरा. ठीक है? So this you should know properly. ये आपको अच्छे से पता होना चाहिए. By the way, ये भी आपके जो है ना आर्किटेक्चर डिजाइन में आता है. Because इसके इतने सारे differences है. As an engineer, a platform engineer, you cannot decide कि कंपनी की सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी क्या होगी. These are security policies, right? कहीं पे मैं ओपन छोड़ रहा हूँ, कहीं पर आई की वर्जन 1 ले रहा हूँ, कहीं पर 2 ले रहा हूँ, उनमें क्या डिफरेंसेस है, कॉस्टिंग में क्या डिफरेंस है, फीचर्स क्या मिलेंगे, सिक्योरिटी पे कितना कॉम्प्रोमाइज है, मेरे जिस रीजन में मेरा डेटा सेंटर है, एम आई इन यूएस, एम आई इन इंडिया, यूएई, गल्फ, चाइना, what are the local laws talking about it, do I have to have this encryption or I cannot have this encryption. So there is a lot of things behind selecting one option. So as a platform engineer, do you think ये सारा बोझ आपके कंधों पे होगा? Do you really think एक 15-16 लाख के पैकेज में आप इतना सब सर पे ले लोगे आपके कि ठीक है कंपनी का सब कुछ मैं ही डिसाइड कर लेता, I'll run your company and you just pay me 15 LPA? Do you think that is going to happen, guys? Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. You are responsible for the portal. ये सब जिसको करना है, let them do it. So don't oversell yourself. उसके लिए unnecessary burden मत करो. उसके लिए जाकर certificate की पढ़ाई मत करो. Focus on what you will be questioned on. Focus on what you will be evaluated on, right? And you can be firm about it. Certificate का team definitely होता है. Even if your interviewer says कि यार we do not have any certificate team, you will have to do it. You say okay, I'm familiar with it. My team used to do it, so I used to talk to them. I used to join their call sometimes. I'm familiar with it. Given a chance, I'll be able to do it. And trust me, when it comes to you, उनके पास भी teams होती है, कुछ नहीं तो vendor support होता है ultimately, right? Certificates normally हमको आता है GoDaddy से आता है, Big Rock से आता है, right? So you have a vendor support ultimately. कुछ नहीं है, Microsoft support होता है. So you guys will be able to do the job, but make sure you be firm in your interviews, right? So talking about certificate, is this clear, guys? By the way, till here, this is your part. You should be clear with this one. Right? Do not ask me later. Please do not ask me कि ये how did I decide that, right? I've already explained it. So I don't want anyone asking this question because it will clearly imply that you're either not listening or you're not sure about anything. So why did I decide this? ये कुछ भी हो सकता है. Any private IP range is okay here. Any private IP range. But recommendations are, or the best practices are, avoid the range which you have on Azure and avoid the range which you have at your client side. So मेरे यहाँ पर 192 है, Azure में 10 है, hence I had taken 172, but वो already मैंने बता दिया, इसलिए मैं अभी यहाँ पर मैं 10 ले रहा हूँ. If you want, we can go ahead with 172 as well. Okay. This one we will take this. Now let's talk about the certificate. For your practice, if you want, though I will not even recommend, do VPN वाला practice जो है, VNet to VNet pairing using VPN, VNet to VNet pairing, VNet to VNet using VPN, and side to side. Please make sure you perform that practical. This one I'm not forcing. It's up to you. If you want to learn something, do it. Otherwise, if you even if you're able to say it in your interview, it's okay, because इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें करनी पड़ती है और आउटकम इसका कम है, right? So what is the next step? Create a certificate, right? वहां पर हमको सर्टिफिकेट ये करना होता है. Normally how will it be? I told you एक टिकट पे मल्टीपल टीम्स होती है. So let's say you have got one SR, a service request, उससे अटैच मल्टीपल टास्क होंगे. आपके पास टास्क होगा create a virtual network. Someone else may have a task, create a virtual network gateway, or you may have both of the tasks. Create virtual network gateway and create a virtual network. Create a subnet. ये तीन टास्क आपके पास आ गए. Then you may get a task or some other engineer may get a task. Because ये एक दिन में नहीं होता है सब, ओके? इसमें अप्रूवल्स वगैरह ये सब कुछ लगता है. So by the time you are working, वो टिकट आपके बिन से चला गया. Someone else might get a task. Okay, we have this virtual network UT-Kloud. We have this subnet already created. Please create a virtual network gateway. So you simply have to deploy a virtual network gateway. Then you may get please configure point to site. ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आपको आ जाएगी कि क्या यूज करना है, पूल कौन सा यूज करना है, टनल टाइप कौन सा होगा, ऑथेंटिकेशन कौन सा होगा. सिमिलरली इन द सेम टिकट वहां पर एक और टास्क होगा जो किसी आईआईएस टीम को असाइन होगा, दैट क्रिएट अ सर्टिफिकेट. दे विल क्रिएट द सर्टिफिकेट एंड अल्टीमेटली दे विल गिव यू द आउटकम. उसका आउटकम आपको ईमेल में या उसी टिकट के अटैचमेंट में मिल गया होगा. बट इन दिस केस वी विल क्रिएट इट. Okay, so we have to create a certificate. To create a certificate, I'm using my PowerShell script. You can I will share this with you. In fact, this is already shared with you, right? You all of you have the access to OneNote. Make sure you don't save a copy of it. I keep on changing. आज ही मैंने इसमें change किया because previous script wasn't working well. In fact, it wasn't working at all. So don't save a copy at your end. Copy is not going to help you, right? So I've made some changes. I am creating a certificate here, right? People who do not know about certificate, it's okay, completely fine, ignore it. I told you, you will have a team जो आपको certificate बना कर देगी. This is the Microsoft Management Console I am using to check the certificate. This is a console, Microsoft Management Console. I opened it using MMC tool, MMC command, which opens a Microsoft Management Console. I am adding a snap in here to check certificates. Okay, I'm checking certificates. I will go ahead with my user account. I don't want to see everyone's certificate मेरे laptop पे, बस मेरे देखने. So I go ahead here, personal. इतने certificates मेरे पास है. Who has given them? कोई मेरे Azure से लेना देना है? Nothing. ठीक है? Azure से कुछ भी नहीं है. Look at the dates as well. ये expiration date है इसका issuance date भी होगा कहीं ना कहीं. Let me see. और issuance date से पता चलता है कि एटलीस्ट ये टू इसमें से आज एक भी ये नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है, एक भी आज इसमें से असाइन नहीं हुआ. सो आई डू नॉट हैव एनी सर्टिफिकेट. आई हैड इट, आई डिलीटेड दैट, राइट? सो आई विल क्रिएट अ सर्टिफिकेट. टू क्रिएट अ सर्टिफिकेट, दिस इज द PowerShell script I'm using. This part you can customize. I'm using it Azure point to site root certificate UT-Kloud. This is what I'm using. This you can customize with your name. By the way, it doesn't matter. कहीं पे apply नहीं होने वाला, आप कहीं पे input भी नहीं करने वाले. You can use the same as well. It's completely fine. But I'm telling you, at least for your knowledge, this is the customizable part, right? By the way, what is a root certificate and what is a client certificate? A root certificate you can consider as a lock. I'm gonna put a lock here, right? So just because you download Azure VPN, client VPN, and you connect to my network, वो नहीं होना चाहिए. That should not happen. And just because you are my employee, you know your user ID and password, तो आप अपने personal laptop से connect कर लो, वो भी नहीं होना चाहिए. Then what am I doing? I'm putting a lock and a key combination. So my root certificate is my lock, right? Here is the lock I am creating. And then I'm going to create one more certificate as per the process. Look at this, create a root certificate, then create a client certificate. A client certificate will be my key. And the only person who will have the client certificate, only that person will be able to connect to my network using point to site. Got it, guys? Root certificate and client certificate. Why are we doing this? What is it?
Yes.
Any questions? Prabhat, Sunil, Ashfaq Karbal, both of you. Sonali, Sunil, Suraya. Any questions, guys? Razak?
Sorry, can you please explain about the root and the client SSL certificate once again?
Sure. Anyone else, guys?
मुझे भी सेम डाउट है.
It's why are you waiting then? मेरे पूछने तक का वेट मत करो प्लीज, राइट? मोमेंट यू हैव क्वेश्चन प्लीज आस्क. अभी नहीं समझेगा आप एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाओगे. यू आर नॉट एबल टू एक्सप्लेन, एक दो क्वेश्चन से इंटरव्यू रह जाएगा, देन यू रियलाइज कि यार उस टाइम पूछ ही लेता तो अच्छा होता ना. सो डोंट हैव दैट रिग्रेट. Okay, so why are we talking about the certificates? Because when I got a task as an Azure engineer, a platform engineer, when I got a task to mm, configure the point to site VPN, right? Point to site connectivity करनी है मुझको. So I selected the authentication method as certificate, Azure certificate. If I would have selected Azure Active Directory, तो यहाँ certificate picture में भी नहीं आएगा then. ठीक है, यहाँ पर बस एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी टेनेंट की डिटेल्स देनी है, दो चार सेटिंग्स यहाँ पर चेंज करनी है, दो चार सेटिंग्स एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी के लेवल पे चेंज करनी है, एक ऐप रजिस्टर करना है, एंड दैट्स ऑल, यू आर डन. ठीक है, टू डू दैट यू विल हैव टू just go here to your Azure Active Directory, which is nowadays it's enter ID. यहाँ पर आपको आना है enter ID में. It's and you have to make some changes. यहाँ पर आपको you have to come to enterprise applications. This is not a process as I'm going fast. ये हम कर नहीं रहे actually. ठीक है, then you just have to search for Azure. Here it is, Azure VPN client. यहाँ पर आपको install करना है. This is not being installed in your computer. This is being installed on your portal. वो सब कर लोगे. इसकी कुछ settings जो है ना, like this link, ये सारी settings को आपको यहाँ पर fill करना है. With few more settings, you should be able to do it. So all the users which are there in your Active Directory, इनमें से जितनों को भी आप ऐड करना चाहो, there will be a group created, एक group बन जाएगा उसका. So all these users, they will by default have access, no matter from where they are connecting, which laptop they are connecting. So there is no restriction then. All these users will be able to connect to your network using point to site connectivity, as in using their personal laptop. अगर ये user ID use हो रहा है, they will be able to use it. But we don't want that. I want कि यार कोई पर्टिकुलर जो मेरा कंपनी का लैपटॉप है ना, वही लैपटॉप से यूज हो. Hence I'm going ahead with Azure certificate method. ठीक है, hence we required certificates. Now what are the certificates? What is a root certificate and what is a client certificate? Root certificate is a lock which I am installing on my VPN. ये एक लॉक है. इसका की क्या होगा? Client certificate. I'll be creating two certificates now. Root certificate which I am installing, जिसकी information मैं यहाँ save करूंगा पोर्टल पे. Here it is. It is asking for root certificate. यहाँ पर मैं वो root certificate को install करने वाला हूँ. How to do that we are going to see. And client certificate को client machine पे हम करेंगे. So this is a lock here and the client certificate is the key. On whichever machine you do, only that machine will be able to connect to my VPN. Even if you have user ID and password, you will not be able to connect to the VPN unless you have that certificate. So even if you're my employee, you cannot get a hold of the certificate to your personal laptop because I'm not sharing the certificate with you. यहाँ पर तो मैं सब बता रहा हूँ आपको बना के. Employee को जब लैपटॉप मिलता है, it's already an image created. उसमें वो certificate वगैरह सब कुछ install होता है already. Employee can't see even they can't even see the certificate. Is this clear, guys? What is a root certificate and what is a client certificate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Root certificate is the key. Lock. Client certificate is the key. I'm locking my network with root certificate. It will be unlocked using the client certificate. So I need a root certificate. So to create a root certificate, I'm using this PowerShell command. So let me open PowerShell in administrator mode. It is done. I'll simply run this command, hit enter. It's done. My certificate is created. Where will I see the certificate? Then I told you, we have to go to Microsoft Management Console. This will get open. I have to go to File, Snap in. यहाँ पे ये certificate वाला add करना है. Click OK, OK. This is what you'll get. और यहाँ पर आपको वो certificate दिखना चाहिए. But am I able to see this now? No. What do I have to do?
No.
This refresh one. Sorry, what was that?
No, refresh. I said
Yes.
refresh.
Yes. So just refresh. So look at this. Can you see? Azure point to site root certificate. I have got it. Got it, guys?
Yeah.
Now I have to create a client certificate. Again, this is what I have named it. It's up to you. And I can create multiple client certificates as well if I want. I can create one and I can use one certificate on multiple machines. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपकी मशीन के लिए एक अलग बनाना पड़ेगा, सब मशीन के लिए एक एक अलग बनाना पड़ेगा. No, that is not the way. I will create only one and I can use that one certificate on all the machines. But if I want, I can create multiple as well and I can use multiple. Let's say I'll create two और मैं उसको आप 4 लोगों में डिवाइड कर लेता क्या 2 आप ये यूज करो 2 ये यूज करो. No changes, nothing. Everything will be same. Like this is certificate 1, this will be certificate 2. कोई फंक्शनैलिटी में चेंज नहीं है, कुछ नहीं होगा. Why will I have two certificates then? Let's say कि I feel ये certificate compromise हो गया है, ठीक है. So I can terminate this certificate. दूसरा तो है उससे चल रहा है. So what will I do? I'll ask all of them कि ठीक है जो second certificate पे है उनको यूज करने दो, first वाले को terminate कर दो. This is what I can do. Functionality same है. You do it one, you do it two. That is not the case जहां पे आप एक बना रहे हो और एक पे ही यूज होगा. That is not the case. Don't misunderstand it. You can create one certificate, you can use it on multiple machines. ठीक है. So my certificate has been created. Both the certificates are ready. Now look at this. UT-Kloud client certificate and root certificate. So now root certificate की information किसको देनी है? Who needs the root certificate information, guys?
We required.
Yes, we as an Azure implementation engineer, Azure portal requires the root certificate, right? Do I need client certificate as an Azure engineer? No, I don't need it, right?
No, that
Root certificate, can I give it to client? I mean, even if I give
No.
it to him,
no.
it doesn't matter. But certificate को यहाँ use कैसे करें? There is no option to upload it. There's no option to upload it, right? So how to use that? यहाँ पर हमको certificate का encrypted data जो copy करना पड़ेगा. So to do that, you right click on it, click on all task, click on export, click on next, let the default option as it is, next, select the base, next, give a file name कि क्या नाम से मैं सेव करना चाहता हूँ इसको and कहाँ पर सेव करना चाहता हूँ. So I'm saving it on my desktop. I'm calling it as UT-Kloud root certificate. Click on next, finish, done. It was saved successfully. Okay, it was saved successfully. So now if I open my desktop, just give me 1 minute. Here it is. Can you see? Now, can I upload it directly? No, upload का कोई option ही नहीं है. So I'll right click this. I will open this with Notepad. This is what I need. I have to copy it from here till here. You don't have to copy begin certificate or end certificate वाला word नहीं copy करना है. ठीक है? Are you guys getting it? Confusion चल रहा है कुछ?
No.
Not getting it or no confusion?
No confusion.
No confusion.
So you have to copy it. Hence I told you guys नहीं करना है practical. It's okay. इसका बहुत ज्यादा important नहीं है practical. Concept समझ लो. वो मैंने copy कर लिया. I pasted it here. Name मुझको कुछ देना है मैं दे देता हूँ UT-Kloud root certificate. ठीक है? Now I will save it. It takes some time to save. Meanwhile, what did we do? We created a client certificate as well. तो उसका भी तो कुछ utilization होगा, right? I want to give this client certificate to you as in जिस भी end user को मैं target कर रहा हूँ. So I will click here, export this one as well. Click next. In this time, I will export it with a private key because I'm sending it somewhere else, right? So I don't want to send it without any private key. I'm sending it to someone else. I'm not using it on the portal. So I'm going to use a password as well. I can share this with you as well if you want. And you can also try this if you want. Okay, and I'm going to name something. So I'm going to call it as UT-Kloud client certificate. Click next. Finish. This is done. Now, do I have uh, to open in the similar manner जहाँ पे मुझको notepad ये करना है? No, that's not the case in every time. वो client के पास he doesn't have any portal जहाँ पर वो encryption को ये करेगा. So what are we going to do with the client certificate? So client certificate को क्या करना पड़ता है? इसी तरह से you just have to send it. Let me see if I can send it on WhatsApp. I'm not sure if this works on WhatsApp, supports or PFX file or not, but I'll just try it once, sharing it with you guys. So you can also do it at your end if you want. Okay, so it is working. I have shared it. If you want, do it. If you don't want, it's okay. Okay, so now my client has this certificate. Fine. Let me delete this. To avoid confusion, guys. See, now I have to play both the roles. तो सब कुछ मेरे ही लैपटॉप पे होगा, but don't get confused. First step, root certificate you will do it on your laptop or your machine. ठीक है, वहां से आपने वो कॉपी कर लिया, स्टार्ट और बिगिन वाला ये, इट्स डन, वो हो गया. देन यू विल एक्सपोर्ट दिस सर्टिफिकेट, ये भी आप करोगे, या फिर ये आपका IIS टीम करेगा. यू डोंट इवन हैव टू वरी अबाउट क्लाइंट एंड का, आपको चिंता भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है, बट व्हाट टू डू विद दिस? इसको भी नोटपैड में ओपन करना है क्या क्लाइंट सर्टिफिकेट को? नो. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, यू हैव टू डबल क्लिक इट एंड you have to import it. See, the moment I click, it is importing. What did I do initially? ये सर्टिफिकेट यहाँ पर आया कैसे? What option did I use, guys? यहाँ पर क्या ऑप्शन यूज किया था मैंने to get this certificate here on my desktop?
MMC.
नहीं, MMC तो मैं देख रहा हूँ. MMC, this is Microsoft Management Console. MMC में मैं देख रहा हूँ ये सर्टिफिकेट यहाँ पर आ गया. I want to export it and give it to you. So I exported that. I right click, all task, export. ठीक है, एक्सपोर्ट के रिजल्ट में मुझको ये मिला है. So now I have this. I have shared it with you guys. So what will you do when I have exported something? What will you do?
We'll import that.
Yes.
We'll
So you
import
double
that.
click. You double click on that. It will automatically start the import wizard. Can you see? Certificate import wizard. Current user. Next. जहां पर भी आपको रखना है ये. Next. It will ask for the password for sure. Because why? I have exported with this with private key. Otherwise कोई भी इसको ये कर लेगा. ठीक है. Then I export it. It's done. I get a pop-up like this. I click on yes, and I get a certification import wizard was successful, and that's done, guys. ठीक है, not sure if I will be able to see that certificate here. यहाँ पर ही दिखेगा, वो यहाँ पर कहीं तो जाता है. But now I have that certificate. Is this clear that why did I export it? दो सर्टिफिकेट को एक्सपोर्ट किया
Yes.
मैंने, एक को एक्सपोर्ट करके नोटपैड में ओपन किया और उसका डेटा आई यूज्ड इट ऑन द पोर्टल. आई गॉट दिस ग्रीन टिक, मतलब सही है, एंड दिस गॉट सेव्ड एज वेल. Then I exported the client certificate, right? Client certificate को मैंने client को दे दिया, and client has imported that on his computer. Understand, ये सब इस तरह से नहीं होता है exactly, right? Client will not be able to do it. कोई सर्विस डेस्क से उसको इंजीनियर हेल्प करेगा, और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्लाइंट के इमेज में जो है ना, जो लैपटॉप दिया जाता है नया एंड यूजर को, उसमें ऑलरेडी ये सब किया हुआ होता है. लाइक वी सॉ कि हम एक इमेज बना के रखेंगे, उससे डिप्लॉय करते हैं. उसी तरह फिजिकल में भी वैसे ही होता है, एक इमेज बनती है, एक उसका सीडी बनाकर रख देते हैं, उसी से सारे जो है लैपटॉप्स को बूट करेंगे. सो IT इंजीनियर्स दे वोंट हैव टू डू ऑल दीज थिंग्स अगेन एंड अगेन. ठीक है, क्लाइंट एंड पे कॉन्फ़िगरेशन खत्म नहीं हुआ है. Once you install the software, now client will have to install Azure VPN client. Like you have Cisco client. So look at this VPN client. Client can install the Azure VPN client. This is the link. Using this link, client can install a VPN, Azure VPN. ठीक है, this is Azure VPN client. But if you do it from here, इसमें आपको settings बहुत सारी करनी पड़ेगी. आपका जो VPN है, आपका पब्लिक IP है, what आपका VNet है, वो सारी settings इसमें करनी पड़ेगी. If you install it from here, you can install it from here. ठीक है, यहाँ से हो जाता है. Easiest option is, as an Azure engineer, what you can do is you can give them the file कि यार ये वाला आप यूज कर लो, ये pre-configured है. And what is that? Here it is. Can you see? Download the VPN client. It's the same thing. If you go by the link, यहाँ से आप इंस्टॉल करो. ठीक है, or you do it from here. It's one and same thing, guys. But if you do it from here, what is the benefit? It is pre-configured. इसमें ये एड्रेस पूल आपका VNet गेटवे का IP एड्रेस सब कुछ इसमें pre-configured होगा. So I'm downloading this. This is your job because you have access to the portal. What will you do? You will download this. एक zip file download होगी. You share the zip file with client or with service desk engineer, and then next step is again up to them. Okay, how they do it on the client's laptop. Obviously we are going to see it here. यहीं पर करके देखने वाले हैं हम उसको. So it takes some time. So look at this. I clicked on that. So be patient. अगर थोड़ा time लगता है. ये UT-Kloud virtual network gateway zip save. That's all you have to do. यहाँ तक आपने कर लिया. You simply have to share it. This zip file you have to share. Share with whom? With your client or with the service desk team. ठीक है? So I'm sharing it with you also. Then what the client will do? They will go ahead here, extract this. This is how it will look. Extract. Okay. This is the folder they get. Now, how to install this? How to do the setting? ये हम करते हैं next session में. We have only 30 seconds left in this one. So we'll see you. We'll continue without any break, right? We'll continue and we'll configure this, and then we'll see whether we have the connectivity or not. Meanwhile, I have shared this on WhatsApp. If you guys also want to do it, import that certificate to your laptop. Don't do it on your office PC. If anyone is using office PC, don't try it. Personal PC, do it if you want. Okay, you will be able to connect to my machine as well.